Continuation of the text about why some people don't like birthdays, deep and strategic expansion. 7. The science behind detachment, what neuroscience says. Have you ever stopped to think that your brain might be wired to ignore dates? Neuroscience studies show that people with a low dopamine response in social situations, such as celebrations, tend to seek rewards from other sources: a solitary walk, a book, or even silence. The reward system changed. While most people feel a dopamine spike when receiving congratulations or gifts, those who avoid birthdays may have a different neural code. For them, the reward is avoiding the stress of expectation or sensory overload, noise, crowds, stares. Practical example: imagine an introvert at a surprise party. His brain registers not joy but survival, like an animal on alert. Emotional memory and the birthday effect. Magnetic resonance imaging research reveals that significant dates activate the amygdala, center of emotions. If past birthdays were associated with loneliness, fights or disappointments, the brain blocks the date as a defense mechanism. Catchphrase: your brain doesn't forget what your heart hasn't forgiven. The paradox of self-sufficiency. People who don't care about birthdays often have high activity in the prefrontal cortex, an area linked to planning and self-control. They don't need external validation because they already have enough, which is a strength, but can also be armor against vulnerability. Reflective question: have you learned to be too strong to not need to be loved? 8. Your birthday as a mirror, what your relationship with this date reveals about you. Your behavior regarding your birthday is an emotional thermometer. See what each attitude can mean. Behavior, what it might reveal. Key phrase for reflection. Forgets the date itself, fear of getting old, denying time or avoiding responsibilities, e.g., if I don't celebrate, I don't need to evaluate my life. Are you running from the clock, or from yourself? Prefer not to receive gifts, distrust, fear of emotional debt, or radical minimalism, values experiences, not objects. Gifting is a language you don't speak, but what is yours? Celebrate with just a few people. Emotional selectivity only makes space for those who really matter, or fear of judgment avoids large groups. Your party is small, but your loyalty is huge. Turns the day into a routine. Emotional control avoids ups and downs, or resentment associates the date with losses. For you, normality is the greatest revolution. Make a point of ignoring rebellion against social standards or unresolved wounds, e.g., no one ever remembered me. Sometimes ignoring is the highest form of protest. Exercise for the reader. Take a paper and write it down. How do you feel on your birthday? Anger. Relief. Indifference. Now ask, what is this emotion trying to teach me? This creates active engagement, making the reader interact with the content. 9. Cultures that don't celebrate birthdays, and what we can learn from them. While the West has turned birthdays into consumer rituals, expensive cakes, themed parties, some cultures see the date in a radically different way or simply don't celebrate it. What do they know that we forget? Orthodox Jews. They don't celebrate birthdays because they believe that each day is a blessing from God, and highlighting one in particular would be arrogant. The lesson: gratitude doesn't need dates. Provocative phrase: what if we stopped counting years and started counting blessings? Some indigenous peoples, e.g. Maori, from New Zealand. For them, the group is more important than the individual. Celebrating a person's birth sounds selfish. After all, the community is what sustains life. The lesson: belonging protagonism. Reflective question: how many times have you felt alone in the middle of a crowded party? Buddhists, especially in Tibet, they see the anniversary as a reminder of impermanence. Instead of celebrating, they reflect, another year has passed. What have I done with it? The lesson: time is a teacher, not an enemy. Powerful metaphor: your birthday is not a trophy, it's a mirror. The Amish, USA. They do not celebrate birthdays because they believe that all attention should be given to God, not humans. The lesson: humility as a daily practice. Striking contrast: they don't blow out candles, but they light lanterns for others. To reflect. If you were born into one of these cultures, what would your relationship with time be like? Do we celebrate too much, or too little? 10. The dark side, when not calling your birthday is a warning sign. Avoiding birthdays is not always an act of empowerment. In some cases, it could be a symptom of something deeper. Undiagnosed depression. Anhedonia, inability to feel pleasure, makes dates that should be special become more of a burden. If you feel empty on your birthday, or any celebration, it could be a sign that your brain is in survival mode, not life mode. Cautionary phrase: with empathy, if your birthday is just another grey day, maybe it's not the day that's the problem, but the lens you're looking through. Abandonment trauma. If your birthdays were forgotten, ignored, or marked by fights as a child, your nervous system may have associated the date with danger. The result: avoiding is safer than waiting. Concrete example: children who grow up hearing today is not a party day learn to celebrate silence. Inverted narcissism. It seems contradictory, but some people avoid birthdays because they secretly believe they don't deserve attention. It's not humility, it's self-sabotage disguised as detachment. Tough, but necessary, question: do you think you don't deserve to be celebrated, or are you afraid of finding out that you do? When to seek help. If in addition to ignoring your birthday, you heavy checkmark feels guilty about receiving affection. Heavy checkmark avoid any type of celebration, even personal achievements. Heavy checkmark you have recurring memories of loneliness on that date. Final message: sometimes the greatest gift you can give yourself is to ask for help. It's not weakness, it's courage in the form of vulnerability. 11. Reinventing the birthday. How to turn the date into something meaningful, no party, no pressure. If you don't like celebrating the traditional way, why not create your own ritual? The key is to make the day about what really matters to you. Some ideas. The invisible birthday. Do something just for yourself, unannounced, a day of digital silence, a walk in nature, or even delete all congratulatory notifications and use the time to write a letter to your future self. Motivational phrase: the best gift is the peace of not explaining anything to anyone. The anniversary of gratitude. Instead of receiving, give, make an anonymous donation, visit an animal shelter, or simply call someone you love and tell them how you feel. Reflective question: how many people have you saved without knowing it? Today could be the day to save one more, starting with yourself. The reboot anniversary. Use the date to symbolically burn something that no longer serves you, a list of resentments, a toxic habit, or even an old photo that represents who you no longer are. Strong metaphor: your birthday isn't a full stop, it's a comma. What are you going to write next? The philosophical anniversary. Spend the day reading, meditating, or talking to someone who inspires you. Turn the date into a personal retreat. Phrase for company. Share: some people celebrate with cake. I celebrate with questions that have no answers. Challenge for the reader. This year, do it differently. Instead of waiting for others to remember you, remember yourself in a way no one else could. And tell me in the comments, how will you reinvent your birthday? This drives engagement and sharing. 12. The wisdom of those who don't celebrate. Lessons for a lighter life. People who don't care about birthdays, when it's not because of trauma, usually have something to teach us. 1. Time is not linear, it is cyclical. They understand that getting older is not about losing, it's about gaining layers. A birthday is just another ride on the merry-go-round of life, what matters is how you ride it. Phrase for reflection: you're not getting older. You're getting more interested. 2. The true celebration is internal. They don't need external validation because they already silently applaud themselves. Self-approval is your superpower. Question: how many times have you waited for someone to say congratulations to allow yourself to be happy? 3. Life is not made of dates, but of moments. For them, today is as special as tomorrow. You don't need a day on the calendar to be grateful, love, or reinvent. Metaphor: your birthday is like the sea, the waves come and go, but the ocean remains. You are the ocean. 4. Detachment is a form of freedom. By not relying on rituals, it eliminates the anxiety of expectation. There is no disappointment when there is no charge. Final phrase: freedom is not doing what you want. It's not needing what others think you should want. 13. Conclusion: birthday as you want it, or don't want it. At the end of the day, There is no right or wrong way to deal with this date. What matters is honoring your essence, whether with a crowded party, a day of silence, or simply ignoring the calendar. If you are one of those who doesn't care about birthdays, you're not cold. It's selective. It's not ungrateful. It is self-sufficient. It's not antisocial. It's deep. And if today you decided to read this text so far, you've already proven that you care not about candles or gifts, but about understanding yourself. And that, my friend, is the best party you could throw. Final call to action, maximum engagement. White heavy checkmark comment here. How do you deal with your birthday? Ignore, celebrate, or reinvent the date? I want to know your story. White heavy checkmark share with those who also think that a birthday is just another day, or with those who need to understand this. White heavy checkmark save this text to reread whenever you need to remember. Your way of living is valid. White heavy checkmark follow me for more reflections that make you feel less alone and more understood. Until next time. Oh, and congratulations for being exactly who you are. Party Popper Sparkles. Why does this text work? Psychological depth, neuroscience, trauma, personality. Multicultural approach, broadens perspectives. Practical solutions, alternative rituals. Active engagement, questions, challenges, clear CTA. Empathetic plus philosophical tone, validates without being corny, elevates without being pretentious. Tip for adapting. Change birthday to any topic of atypical behavior, e.g., why don't some people cry at funerals? Why don't certain couples sleep in the same bed? The structure is universal. Your birthday as a mirror, what your relationship with this date reveals about you. There is something deeply revealing about how we deal with our own birthdays. It's not just about cakes, congratulations, or the rush of years passing by. It's an emotional Rorschach test, where the way you face, or ignore, this date draws a hidden map of your psyche. Think about it. Some people turn their birthday into a festival of themselves, gift lists, themed parties, countdowns on social networks. Others, like you perhaps, prefer the day to pass like any other Tuesday, without fuss. And then there are those who secretly feel a weight in their chest when the calendar Rio marks the date, as if it were a reminder of something unresolved. Which of these profiles are you? And most importantly, what does this say about how you relate to life? 1. The birthday as an emotional thermometer. Your reaction to your own birth date is an accurate indicator of 3 things. A. Its relationship to time. Those who celebrate with euphoria are often celebrating the passage of time they see each year as an achievement, an additional layer of experience. These are people who tend to live in the present, with a dash of healthy nostalgia. Anyone who ignores their birthday may be, without knowing it, at war with the clock. Time, for them, is not an ally, but a silent judge. It should be further along. Where are the results I promised myself? The date becomes a mirror that reflects what they have not yet accomplished. Those who feel anguish often carry the what now syndrome. The feeling that life is passing by too quickly, without a clear purpose. The birthday, in this case, is like an annual alarm. Are you where you want to be? Question to reflect on. When you think about your upcoming birthday, which emotion dominates? Anticipation, indifference, or anxiety? B. Your need for validation. Here's a little spoken secret. The way you handle congratulations reveals how you handle love and recognition in your everyday life. Anyone who loves to be celebrated is not necessarily a narcissist. They may be someone who needs emotional mirrors to feel real. He grew up hearing that love is synonymous with attention, so he associates affection with external gestures. Those who shy away from the spotlight often distrust compliments, for fear of not responding to them, or that they have enough emotional self-sufficiency. These are people who, in childhood, learned that depending on others hurts. Those who feel embarrassed when congratulated may have internalized the idea that they do not deserve affection, or that any affection comes with a hidden price. Thought experiment. Imagine that no one remembers your birthday this year. How would you feel? The answer will show how much of your well-being depends on the outside. C. Your connection to childhood. A birthday is, above all, a portal to the child you were. And like any door to the past, it can lead to 2 places. 1. The room of sweet memories. If your childhood birthdays were full of security, laughter, and genuine presents, you probably see the date as a ritual of reconnect with yourself and with those you love. Warning sign: if you exaggerate your celebrations today, it could be an attempt to recapture a magic you felt you lost. 2. The shadow basement. If your birthdays were marked by absences, fights, or frustrated expectations, your brain associated the date with emotional danger. Hence the indifference or even hatred for the day. It is a protection. Difficult question: what happened on your birthday that you don't want to relive? 2. Birthday as a ritual of reinvention. Here's a radical idea. A birthday is not about the past, but about the future you choose to create. And the way you look at it could be the key to reinventing your life. A. For those who ignore the date. If you are on the team that doesn't care, ask yourself: is this freedom or escape? Freedom: you genuinely do not need external validation to feel complete. Escape: you avoid the date because, deep down, you are afraid of having nothing to celebrate. Challenge: this year, make a single symbolic gesture not out of obligation, but as an act of self-knowledge. Could it be: write a letter to yourself, with things you stopped doing and things you achieved without realizing it? Buy something that represents a version of yourself that you abandoned: a book, an instrument, an outfit. Spend the day doing something that the child inside you has always wanted: jumping in puddles, eating ice cream for breakfast. Why? It's not about celebrating, but about claiming the right to take up space in your own life. B. For date haters. If your birthday brings you anxiety, sadness, or anger, it is a sign that there is an unhealed wound linked to abandons: those who should have been there, weren't. Betrayals: promises not kept, gifts that never arrived. Pressure: the feeling that others your age already have X, Y, Z. The remedy is not to ignore, but to give new meaning. Try this. 1. Identify the trigger. What is the first bad birthday memory that comes to mind? Write it down. 2. Rewrite the script. Imagine what that day would be like if you had had the power to change it. View details. 3. Create a new ritual. Do something completely opposite to what hurt you. If it was loneliness, spend the day surrounded by people who are good for you. If it was pressure, do something without purpose, just for pleasure. Remember, the brain does not know how to differentiate memory from imagination. By mentally rewriting the past, you reprogram the future. C. For those who celebrate too much. If you are the type who needs parties, gifts, and posts, ask yourself: does it fill you or empty you? Ench: you genuinely love celebrating life and sharing joy. Empties: you use the celebration as a mask so you don't face the emptiness when the party ends. Reality test. The day after your birthday, you feel white heavy checkmark gratitude, for another year, for the people, for the experiences. Crossmark empty, as if, now that it's past, you no longer deserve attention. If it's the second option, try. Swap quantity for quality. Instead of 50 shallow congratulations, aim for 3 in-depth conversations. Celebrate alone first. Before any party, do something just for yourself: dinner, a walk, a movie. Learn to be your own company. Asking why. Why do I need others to know it's my birthday? The answer may surprise. 3. Birthday as a metaphor for life. Here is the naked truth. The way you handle your birthday is a microcosm of how you handle existence. If you avoid the date, perhaps you are avoiding life, getting ahead of tasks, running away from conflicts, living on autopilot. If you demand celebrations, perhaps you are demanding more from life than it can give and forgetting to give yourself what you need. If you look at it with indifference, perhaps you are numb, not happy, not sad, just present. The question few ask: if today was my last birthday, what would I change to make it worth it? 4. An invitation to reinvent your date. This year, break the mold. Not out of obligation, but as an experiment in self-knowledge. Ideas for a revolutionary birthday. Sparkles the anniversary of not done. List everything you didn't do in the last year due to fear, laziness, or lack of time. Pick one thing and do it today. It doesn't matter how small. Sparkles the 5 years anniversary. Imagine that you are celebrating your birthday in 5 years. How do you want this future version to feel? Act today as if you were her. Sparkles, the birthday of forgiveness. Write a letter forgiving someone who ruined your birthday, or forgiving yourself for not having enjoyed past dates. Burn or bury the letter. Sparkles, the invisible birthday. Spend the day without telling anyone it's your birthday. Notice how you feel. What changes when no one knows? Sparkles, others' birthdays. Instead of receiving, give. Do something generous for someone in need anonymously. See how this changes your relationship with the date. 5. The big reveal. After all that, here's the secret no one tells you. Birthday is not about the day you were born, but about the day you decide to be born again. Each year is a chance to letting die what no longer serves you, resentments, fears, masks. Give birth to a more aligned, freer, more you version of yourself. And the best part? You don't need candles, cake or congratulations to do this. Just one choice. Call to action, deep engagement. Fire comment here. If you could reinvent your birthday today, what would it be like? A day of silence? A chaotic party? A ritual of your own? I want to know, and who knows, maybe we won't be inspired. Love letter, share with who? He hates his birthday, to show that he is not alone. Love's birthday, to challenge people to think differently. You need a push to look at life differently. Pushpin, save this text to reread whenever you feel trapped in the past. Needing to remember that your way of living is valid. Wanting to reinvent a ritual, not just your birthday, but any date that bothers you. White down, pointing backhand index, follow me for more reflections that. White heavy checkmark, they make you question the obvious. White heavy checkmark, they help you understand yourself without judgment. White heavy checkmark, they remind you that you are not alone in your weirdities. Until next time. And remember, you're not getting older, you're becoming. And that, my friend, is the only party that really matters. Party popper, Sparkles.